Okay, I have a Toro 521. I'm going to fix the carburetor on it today. Well, actually, I'm actually going to replace it. So here's your carb. I got a new one in a box from Amazon. So it looks like I'm going to have to just take off 2 bolts. I've never done this before, it's for a friend. I'm going to take off a bolt here and a bolt there. I have this linkage. You're going to make sure you put it back into the right slot. And then you have your hose that leads to your gas tank. And it looks like that's about all this one has. Oh, it's got one hose right here as well. Have to take off. Those are pretty easy fixes. This one looks like it goes back into the kind of like an overflow is what it kind of looks like. But let me get going real fast and I'll turn it back on. Okay, so for the first thing I'm doing is taking off this nut. I already loosened it. Wasn't too bad. Pretty simple. So let me do that real fast. Make sure to put these somewhere that you don't lose them. Alright, so it looks like it's got a bolt on the back that it's just spinning. So I'm going to take 2 hands to hold this bolt and the one in the back to keep it from spinning. Okay, so I got this first one off right here. Now I'm unscrewing the one on the other side. The back bolt, back there you can see it spinning as well. So I'm going to take 2 hands and just undo this one. Okay, I've got that part off so now you can see it's a little bit loose. Next thing I'm going to do is unscrew somebody put on a screw here to keep it on. So I'm going to undo this. A lot of them have just a clamp or something that you can put on and off. This is kind of falling off, so I guess I'm going to take this off. Make sure to remember where your linkages go. So you can see the carburetor's hanging there. There is a gasket right here. This one's in not terrible shape, but not real good shape. It'll still work, but I have a new one, so I'm just going to put it on there in place of it. Like I said, so I'm going to take and unscrew this a little bit more, so I can get it undone. Alright, so it's loose now. So you're going to want to give it a little kind of a pull to get it off there. There we go. So you can see it's come off. You're going to want to put this hose somewhere up higher than the gas so that it doesn't leak out. Or you're going to have gas that leaks out. See, there you go. So I'll stick it kind of right in here. Have it stay right there. So the next thing you want to do is unattach this hose right here. And in order to do that, you're just going to give it a little pull. This one doesn't have a clamp on it. Most of the time they have little clamps, but this one doesn't. So I'm just going to pull it a little bit. There you go. See, it just pulled right out there. Now you have your carburetor off. I will do a video of how to clean it. The person I'm doing this for just wanted to do one, so I'm just going to put a new one on. Then I'll probably kind of paste them together, the 2 videos, or put a link in it in the description for how to clean it. So here's my old one right here. Still got the choke on it. Or here's my new one right next to it. I'm going to have to take this choke off. It's just 2 screws here and here. So pull those off and they will screw into the new one. It appears they're going to go right here onto the new one. This snowblower should have a cover on it, but it didn't. They lost it or broke it. I'm not sure. So I'm going to pull this off real fast. I said pull these 2 screws off, and then I can put that choke back on. Alright, so I got the first one off. Now I'm undoing the second one. Just unscrewing it. Sorry about my nasty shoe. And we're there. Also, there is this linkage that is still on here. So I said, remember where that one's at, compare it to the other one. So it's on the middle hole. The middle hole is where we're going to want to put it when we put it back on. Okay, so I'm putting that linkage back on so I don't lose it. Then I'm going to put it on its side. And I'm going to put that choke lever back through. If you remember, it was sticking out, kind of sticking about like this on there. You're going to make sure to put this back up through there. And I'm going to put it on its side. Then I'm going to line those holes back up, and then I'm going to screw it back on. The screws back in there. I'm just going to tighten them down. I just want to do that so I can show you kind of what it looked like so you can remember. Alright, so I'm going to pull this gasket off now. I've got my choke back in there. I've got it screwed down, and I'm going to pull this gasket off. Like I said, it's not in too terrible shape. It's not ripped up or anything. It would still serve its purpose. And then put this one on. Pretty easy. There's that. And you're going to make sure to get your linkage put back in the right way. So you're going to push it through and make sure everything lines back up. You're going to kind of just push it on there so that all your bolts and everything are lined back up. And then you're going to put the bolts on, which I'm going to do. So one on each side of the carb. 2 bolts back on. I'm doing it just so it'll hold in place. Remember, you got to put this one, there's a bolt back here, so when you're tightening it up, it's going to spin on both sides. So I'm going to tighten those back up. Okay, they're tightened back down. So you're going to take this hose once again. You're going to push it back on. Then you're going to take fuel hose and put it on this new little metal piece. So it should just push right on. It's a little bit different angle than my last one, or the one I just took off, so it might take a little bit of finagling, but it'll go on. Okay, so I got it on. Now I'm just going to tighten it up. Like I said, a lot of them have little clampies. This one's got one of these kind of fasteners where you screw it on, and that's that. Like I said, most of the time they have a cover right here. So there's a bolt there, it looks like. I don't see any other bolts. I might just come over top. There's a hole right there as well, so I'm sure it comes over top. So if you need to get to it, look for any bolts or nuts or screws that might be out of the way, and that's probably how you get it off. Like I said, this one just doesn't have it. So here's your choke that you can use, and then I'm going to give it a test fire.